Right. See, today the first example is how can we pass array as an input to the method. This is a most important one and it is very useful for our data structures and algorithms concept also. I'm taking one class. The class name is a display. That method name is a display. Suppose method name is elements I am taking. Suppose element, simple example first. Simple example. See, normally from here, I just want to call this display elements method. How to call? First, make it static. Static. Just simply class name dot method name. If you pass two values or if you pass only one value, it's an integer. No? It is taking that integer value and printing that x value. X is printing. When you are executing the code, that output will display. That x value will display. X value will display is a 10. Sir, suppose if I am passing is a 10.5. It's a float or a double now. So I'm taking that double. We know already. Whenever you are calling the method, what the method is expecting exactly, the same type of value you should pass as an input. But here, now I want to pass array. First, let me take one array. ARR. Directly, I'm giving the values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what we have to pass, sir? Just ARR. That name, if you pass, here you have to collect by declaring the same type of variable only. Suppose X. Now this ARR will come and store into this X. Sir, how can you display? How can you display? Using for loop. All values we are displaying. I equals to 0. I less than or equals to not array dot. Here name is X. X dot length minus 1. I plus plus. I plus plus. Here printing. System dot out dot println X of I. See. Passing array as an input to the function. How we are passing array as an input to the function or method? Just array name if you pass, so that values will come and store into this X. Same repetition. Here if you are using ARR, but here you need to use X. That's the simple way. Remaining concept is the same. Look at this. Just compile it and run it. All values will be displayed. All values. This is the way. Now here, the function is returning also. Returning. Same story. First, with the normal example, I'll explain. Class name I'm taking get data. Suppose I'm taking data. Suppose imagine if it is returning integer x equals to 10, it is returning that x. X is which type? Integer type. So return type should be int. Int. It's a static method. How you will get? Here we need to call get dot data. Just get dot data. We are calling. So what is the value it is returning that you are collecting into a variable? Suppose int. Int x is equal to same variable you can use or different variable you can use. No problem. Once you collect, then we are printing system dot out dot println that a printing. When you are executing this code, it's a normal integer we are returning. The same story, sir. For example, if it is a string s is equal to abc. If it is returning s, return type is a string type. So you just collect into string type only. String type. Just compile it and run it. The values are printing. But now I just want to return array. This is important. Integer array. Suppose x is equal to values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, returning x. X is an integer array. So return type should be an integer array. That you should collect into integer array only. That how can we display? Simply using the for loop. Int I equals to 0. I less than or equals to a dot length minus 1 I plus plus printing that a of I. Printing that a of I. Now this method is returning the array. Previous one is what? Method is taking the array. Now method is returning the array. This one, just wait. His method is returning. Method is returning. And next one is method is taking. His method is taking. That is the one. Okay. Do this side by side quick. This is just how to pass an array as an input to the method and how the method returns array of elements. Okay. The next one is here. After the concept of this one, whenever you are working with the strings also, first you need to understand about the character arrays. Just like a normal integer. But before that, let me explain the concept of for each loop. When we are taking one array, just 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. How can we display array elements? Simply using the for loop, I equals to 0. I less than or equals to array dot length minus 1 is I plus plus. Simply we are printing the details like ARR of I. It's okay. But see what is happening here. Every time we need to specify the starting index, we need to specify the ending index and increment and decrement. Everything we are providing. Right? It is printing end to end. But instead of giving this much, just a line gap I'm giving, this will display just line. Actually, easy way is there using for each loop they introduced. For each loop. For each loop is a easy way of displaying the array elements. Simply you need to write for only for here colon array you need to specify. From this array, each element automatically will come and store into one variable that directly you can display. See, no need to specify the starting index. No need to specify the ending index. No need to specify how much we need to step every time. +1 or +2 like that. No, just array you need to pass. And into integer. Suppose if it is a .NET, simply we write like this. For each for .NET students X in array. Simply here console.writeLine. Of course, here it will not display, but I'm showing that writeLine.x. This is the only difference. Java students use for, that's it. Int x colon array. .NET students, you must use for each the word int x in array, because for loop is common for everyone. Okay, for each like this, same one we can display. So instead of using for loop, it is very easy to work with the for each loop. Sir, any disadvantages? Any limitations? Yes, one small limitation is there for each. What is that limitation? It will represent only in a forward direction, that too one by one only. Sir, suppose if I want to display in reverse order, it's impossible. You must go with the for loop only. You must go with the for loop only. That's it. No other option you have. Just run it, compile it, and run it. This is. So here all elements are, I want to process one by one. What all the elements which are present in the for loop means what? Better you always go with the for each loop, right? Or else remaining like this you can specify. Please practice. Execute the codes and drop in the chat box. See, using for each loop, every operation you can specify. Easily you can display. See, this is displaying now. No, I need only sum. Just sum equals to 0. All elements sum I am printing. How? Sum equals to sum plus x and printing that sum. System.out.println, that sum printing. Just compile it and run it. Executing both 150. Just display the even numbers. Everybody, sum of even numbers code, you please drop in the chat box. Quick.